Oh, yay. Someone says I'm here. Yay. Excellent. Okay, good. I have to figure out how to. They say it's better to schedule one, that it gets better participation, but then I don't see how to make it live. Like it looked like it was live before and no one could see me. So, anyway, we'll figure all this out. How's everybody's week been? Hey, Laurel. Thank you guys for being here. So, I am. Oh, good. Yeah, Kim's waiting on our chickens. They'll get here early next week. Well, we hope early next week. If I turn my camera around, here, let me show you. Hey, Charlie. I'm living in disarray, and my house smells like paint, and not latex paint, like hardcore cabinet paint. So we're having a really good time here. So if I start saying strange words or something like that, it's because I'm having asphyxia. Is that the right word for it? I don't know. Hey, Lisa. So, what's something everyone's looking forward to this weekend? I am looking forward to loading in that cabinet that they're building, and I'm looking forward to the second half of honey harvest. What about y'all? There we go. Kim says getting the raised beds filled and the fall seed started. What are you going to start, Kim? Zen tracker time. I don't know what that is, Laurel. Oh, tractor time. That I know what it is. It's time for some tractor therapy. So let me show y'all the little audience I had when I was on the tractor on Wednesday. This guy was watching me because as I was mowing, I was uncovering, nests of baby bunnies and rodents and things. And so then, hey, Sherry, the hawk would come down and get them. So I was a source of a buffet. Tomatoes, potatoes, broccoli. That all sounds good. Lisa, did you say you're coming home tomorrow? Yes, okay. Does anybody have any new hobbies they're thinking about trying? I know Kim is. She's just getting into gardening, just getting into chickens, and she just got into sourdough. Yeah, I know, Sherry. You've had long enough. We get her now. But aren't you coming here soon? Yes. I wish I was there to help you do weeds, Sherry. That's very satisfying work, especially if you start super early in the morning. Like tomorrow morning when we go pull honey, we're going to be at the farm at 7 a.m. Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, Jean. What earrings are you trying to make? What are you trying to make earrings out of, Laurel? Are you going to be my new earring hookup? I'm still waiting on some bumblebee earrings. Well, hey, Shannon, if you work outside in Texas during the summer, you'll become a morning girl. Nice. What's something you're grateful for right now? I'm really grateful for productive bees, and I'm grateful for my new cabinet in my kitchen. All right, very well. So I thought also tonight, y'all keep chiming in, but I thought tonight I would talk about. Um, I thought I would talk about some upcoming things we're planning at the farm. I just put in an order Wednesday the 23rd, which will be the next Wednesday that I'm working at the farm all day. Yes, Phyllis, I'm looking forward to that too. I ordered a picnic table that I've been meaning to order for a long time. It'll be here Wednesday, July 23rd, and also 5 yards of soil is going to be delivered by a truck, and I will fill up all of the raised beds that I have in my garden that do not currently have soil in them. So I'll have 5 new beds, which I'm very much looking forward to. A little more longer range plan is I want to finish that beige building. I want to have concrete. I want to have electricity to it. That takes a few more dollars, and so that's why that takes a little bit longer. But I thought tonight we would talk about like being in tune with the seasons. I was thinking today, working outside and having a farm and, gardening and being a beekeeper and everything, it really makes you be in tune with the seasons. Hey, Brad. My daughter's hearing me in stereo from upstairs. Anyway, it really makes you be in tune with the seasons. Like the year starts and it's January, and the main focus in January is seed starting. So you're starting tons of tomato seeds, and of course, you're starting way more tomato plants than you actually end up needing. So you're starting that. You're starting things like broccoli, lettuce. For me, high season at work starts in January. In the winter, your mornings are slower because you're not rushing right to work outside because it's A, dark, and B, cold. And then the other thing about January is the Bee Expo. That's something else that happens in January. Then in February, at least here in Texas, we usually have a big freeze. At least we have the last several years. It's probably always been that way. I've just noticed it more since I've had a farm. More seed starting. Bee season starts. We usually set swarm traps out in February. High season continues at work. High season starts in January. Then comes March, and that's when the bees really start going bananas, and that's when you need to start for swarms. You need to monitor for swarms. You need to make sure you're not losing your bees to swarms. And it gets more complicated to manage seedlings. So throughout January and February, you're starting seedlings, and then you're having to pot them up. And then there's always this balance, this race between the last frost date, which where I am is in mid-March, versus how soon do your seedlings need to be potted up. I personally don't like to have to actually put them in bigger pots. I would rather put them right outside, but sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate. A lot of people look at when Easter is. This year was a really late Easter. It was April something. And so a lot of people wait until, the old timers always say to wait until after Easter to put your tomatoes out. If you put tomatoes out and even a hint of a frost, those tomatoes are going to die. March is a big March to get seedlings in the ground. So all those seedlings you've been starting across January, February, early March, now you're getting them in the ground, and that's your main focus. And then as we go on to April, this year in April, I was able to take a farm week. I took an entire week off of work and was able to be at the farm every day. One thing that showed me was that even if I were to retire and work at the farm full time, I wouldn't be able to work at the farm every day. It's very physically taxing. So I ended up actually coming into the office one day in the middle of the week because I just needed to have a time that I was sitting at my desk. It's very physical. April is absolutely beautiful in Texas. The best months in Texas, at least in North Texas, are April and October. And then the year keeps rolling, and now you've got May. So for me, I'm usually gone for about half of May because there's a big trip that happens every year. I think this coming year it starts at the end of April, but usually it's in May. The first harvesting starts in May for the early crops, and it's a really inconvenient time to be gone for 2 weeks, but such is life. Like this year I was in Scotland for 2 weeks, and you can't just not do that. So you can pick tomatoes. Bye, baby. Here, my daughter's on her way out. Then in June, your focus really shifts from planting to harvesting. Right now, we're in, I guess you'd call it mid-July. Every time I go out to the farm, I spend about 2 hours harvesting. A couple of you on here have helped me with harvesting before. Hey, Joshy. Hi. I'll see you next week. I spent about 2 hours harvesting and really heavy baskets and whatnot. So that it really is hard work. And then I always say this, people think the hard work of gardening is, setting it up and planting and weeding and watering, and all that is work. But the hard work, the really hard work, and what everything else supports is harvesting and processing. If I could look at my counter over there, there's probably 30 pounds of tomatoes over there. There's cantaloupe. There's a 18-gallon stainless steel tank of honey over there. It's all stuff that I've harvested that I need to make sure, doesn't just rot. I need to make sure it gets preserved and used. In July, as it gets hot in the summer, like right now, it hasn't been that bad of a summer so far. Hey, Lane. It hasn't been that hard of a summer yet. It's been like in the low 90s many days. I understand it got in the upper 90s when we were in Scotland, but when I've been here, it's been fine. But you have a quick morning. Tomorrow morning, I'll be setting my alarm for 5 a.m. because I'm going to be out at the farm, have everything set up when my 2 helpers get here to go harvest honey. And I am, you cannot waste any time. If you think it's hot outside in Texas, you just put a bee suit on and tell me what you think about it. Then August, dog days of summer. Everything is crispy critters. Then in September, you start to get a little bit of redemption. Have a trip that always happens in September. It's our signature owners meeting. Yeah. Hey, baby. My husband's on here. He's cheering that we have a 5 a.m. alarm going off. This is the first he's hearing of it. We also have another trip that this year is happening in September where our whole office goes on a trip. My regular full-time job is travel, and so that's why all these trips happen. In the fall, like at the end of summer, the garden just looks like a complete mess. It just is a wild jungle. And so for September, October, your main job is to pull out plants that are spent. I always put 1 or 2 bags of compost on a bed after I take all the plants out of it. And that's a lot what the fall's about. Then do not snooze on the fall garden. Like right now, I just started cucumber plants because down here, if the plants are too hot, then they won't make fruit. Like they'll make beautiful cucumber vines, but they won't set fruit. So what I'm doing this year is I'm putting the cucumber plants in the ground here in the next month or so, and then they'll have time to grow and get big. And then by the time the plants mature, it'll make cucumbers in the fall. So that's good. Then in November, you kind of start sliding into the holidays and making improvements to the farm. Like this past year, I put in drip irrigation, which, by the way, game changer. I'm going to make a video about that. Hey, Julia. I'm going to make a video about that coming up. That has been just, I think that's why I'm drowning in tomatoes this year. It makes my time so much more productive out at the farm, not having to stand there with a hose. And actually, I don't spend as much on water as I was when I was having to stand there with a hose. It just does such a much better job. And it's so simple to do. Kim, are you going to put in drip irrigation on your new garden? You really, really need to. So y'all, this is very interesting. On the little chat, I can see on the side of my screen. Tell me if y'all can see this. I can see like some of you have a little crown, which means you're a top fan. and you're numbered. Does it do that? Can you see it from your side? Interesting. And then we slide into December. December is, there's really nothing growing. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Sherry, yeah, that's right. You're number one. Anyway, on December 1st, I'll have a pretty major surgery this year. So then I won't do anything. I'll have to find somebody to take care of the chickens until I can be on 2 feet again. But that's kind of the pace of the year. I'm more in tune with weather forecasts. Like the weather never surprises me because I always know what it's going to do. Well, every once in a while, I'm always familiar with the forecast anyway. It doesn't always mean that's what's going to happen. All right. Somebody ask a question. Gardening, chickens, bees, JFK assassination, anything. Mm-hmm. I was researching on a Facebook Live, and one of the things that it said, yeah, Elvis is alive. Well, there are people on this chat that wish Elvis was alive, but one of the things they said, as far as like being engaging on your YouTube Live, is to have your puppies. So there's one of our puppies. That's Heidi. Actually, my daughter's dog. I suppose we'll find out pretty quick if Ruthie's still watching. So anyway, Shannon asked, how do you decide what to plant each year? So, and then I'll get to yours, Laurel. Great. Okay. So what I decide to plant every year. So I try to plant things that I like eating. I try to plant things that I can be successful growing. And then also I try to plant things just that are interesting. Like right now, a couple of weeks ago, I just planted a whole bed of garbanzo beans. Are they going to work? I mean, maybe. I think so. We'll see. They haven't sprouted yet. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, so yeah, bell peppers are always a big winner for me because nothing bothers them and they grow for a long time and they love the heat. So that's always good. Laurel asks, are you still donating some of your produce to Five Loaves? So the local good center there on K Street is on my way to work. So now that's where I take it. I just took a box there this week. So yes, I do, but not to Five Loaves because that's the other direction. I take it to local good center because that's on my way to work. Lisa asked, so you really can plant cucumbers now? Yes, I just seeded some. Seed starting. They're in my little seed starting rack, and I'll put them out in a couple weeks. Yeah, Sherry, when I'm looking for hummus, I can't find any hummus that doesn't have seed oil in it, and so thought I'd give it a try. Kim, you must have some chicken questions. My sister Kim and her husband Charlie just came up. Was it just last week? I don't know. And took my original chicken coop and took it down to Baytown, and she's getting ready to get some chickens here in a couple of days. We only have 10 more minutes. Charlie wants cucumbers. Well, it's a good thing to grow. Yeah, Sherry, I agree. Once you start becoming aware of what they've been trying to feed us, it's kind of a slippery slope. Yes, Laurel, have you tried making tea with some of the flowers you harvest? Yes, I have lemon balm, and I'm drying a bunch of that right now. I have chamomile and mint. I'm growing mint, and yes, I make tea, and they will be in the farm shop, so you can watch for that. That's another category of things that I'm growing out of the farm is medicinals. So I'm growing, I have echinacea, I have comfrey, I have mullein, which is one you might not have heard of. I had calendula, but it was in the same bed as yarrow, and the yarrow just choked it out. So I'm going to have a whole new bed, a whole different bed with calendula in it. Yes, I'm sure you will too, but I need the questions now. Oh, you mean when the chicks get here? Okay. I thought you meant when I get down to Baytown. Our whole family's getting together a week from yesterday, so we're all very excited. We haven't all been together. I think my sister said it's been since my dad's funeral. That was a long time. A long, long time. Chickens, will they stop producing in the heat? Yes, they will struggle. A lot when it gets cold down here, like that cold snap I was talking about in February. People always get really concerned about their chickens. Like, oh, do I need to put a heater? Don't put a heater. Your chickens are fine in the cold, just fine. I'll get to that, Sherry. But where chickens struggle is in the heat. If they they need water, shade, and ventilation. That's what the chickens need in the heat. And yes, their production will go down. And then it'll pick back up again once it cools off. But then you're battling lack of daylight. Chickens need at least 14 hours of light in order to make eggs. So it's always a struggle. One way to combat that, which I was able to do this year, is you time when you're getting your chicks so that they're just starting to lay right as the adult chickens are going down for the year. And then that kind of makes up the difference. I have 7 hens that are just about a month from starting to lay. Yes, Lisa wants to know what the mullein is good for. And you even spelled it right, Sherry. I'm so impressed. It's lungs. I understand it's good for lungs. And also, like, you can use it like in a drawing salve. Yeah, it supports your lungs. Yes. Okay. So my nephew Joshy said that we should create photo spaces. And he particularly talked about planting bluebonnets. If I could tell you how many times I have tried to get bluebonnets to grow. If any of you are experts about getting bluebonnets to grow, I invite you to the farm because I would love for bluebonnets to grow at the farm. And I also thought about getting, one of those like old timey pickup trucks that's like probably broken down, like probably doesn't really run. And people come and take pictures on it and stuff. And like you could put bales of hay around it and stuff. I would love that. I would just love it. It's especially beautiful in the spring. It'd be a great place to come take pictures. Photosynthesizing chickens. Well, yes, they are. And so when I first moved the chickens from where they were here in Murphy out to the farm, they really stopped laying in the winter, like completely. And they had never stopped laying that way before. And finally, I figured out when they were in Murphy, there were street lights and whatnot around where they were. So it was never completely dark. So they always had enough. I just thought it was a superior chicken keeper. And that's why my chickens laid all winter. Turns out that's not true. So my wonderful brother-in-law, Mike, came up and helped me rig up a solar-powered light on a timer. And it would give additional light to them every night. And then they started laying again. Let's see here. Was he really a master gardener? That's great. Joshy, you had bluebonnets in your backyard in Colorado? Are you sure they were bluebonnets? That is bizarre. I even bought some bluebonnet plants. They had they were already bluebonnets at HEB, and I planted them in hopes that I just cannot get them started. But I also don't want the whole pasture to be bluebonnets because I will be getting more cows in the spring, and I don't want them trampling bluebonnets. Yes, I would love to see pictures, Sherry. Oh, I'm hearing from someone. They're trying to comment, but they can't. Oh, I'm going to respond to her. Let's see. It's set that you have to be subscribed to my channel to comment. But she says bluebonnet seeds need to be scattered this month and next for blooming next spring. Okay, that's good information. I'm going to do that. Okay. That people can comment 5 minutes after subscribing. So yeah, this whole YouTube live thing is interesting to figure out. So I appreciate y'all putting up with me. So yes, I am hearing that bluebonnet seeds need to be scattered. So I am going to, in fact, I will get on rocky, poor soil, good drainage, but nothing fancy. Okay, well, I'm going to go on right after this live, and I'm going to order some, let's see. Laurel, I'll ask. Let's see. Tracy, if you're hearing me, we have a question. Are they direct sun or partial sun? I bet direct sun, right? If you think about all the places that you see bluebonnets along Texas highways and stuff, it's got to be full sun, right? So does anybody have a guess as to how many more gallons of honey we'll get tomorrow? We had about 18 gallons. I'm going to count it as 18 because I'm this far from the top of the 18-gallon tank. And then I have half of a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and count it as 18 gallons. I suspect there's probably 30 more frames. Yes, Tracy says direct sun. She also says, bring on the weirdos. That's when you know you've arrived. She's probably right. I set it to where you have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes to comment so that we wouldn't get any drive-by randos. But she's probably right. Drive-by randos are probably exactly where we need to be. How many hives was that 8 gallons from? That was 18, not 8, 18. That was from 60 frames, right, Laurel? And Laurel's guessing another 10 gallons minimum. Well, if we do have another 10 gallons, I'm going to be at the very top capacity of my supply of buckets. So we'll see. And I'm counting on the bees being much more calm tomorrow than they were last week. Oh, also, we just have a couple more minutes, but the last few times I've been out, I've managed to get bees. Yes, no stinging. That's right. I've managed to get bees in my bee suit a couple times. And so there's a great board on Facebook called Texas Friendly Beekeepers. And if you're a beekeeper, you don't have to be in Texas. It's a great board, just friendly people. There's not this one-upping and everything. That's all over every bee board. Anyway, great group. And I posted on there like, hey, this is the kind of suit I wear, which is a really good suit. And the last few times I've gotten bees in my suit, and I'm allergic to bee venom, so I've got to be really careful. And so I was getting some tips, and one of the things that they said was, y'all know the little flap that goes here. There's 2 zippers that come together, and then a flap goes right here. They said like put tissue or something because they think that they're burrowing in there. That's how they're getting in, and probably. And they also said be really careful to think about these zippers and also the zippers that are at the top of your thighs because there's zippers all the way down the legs. Anyway, so tomorrow let's be really careful and check each other before we go out because we need no stings. Oh, yay, Tracy can comment now. Excellent. So maybe I'll change that setting next time. We'll see. I guess if anybody gets problematic, we can just check it again. So anyway, all right. Well, it is 7:29 and the count shows we've been going just about half an hour, and that's all the longer I said I would keep y'all. I really appreciate y'all being here and helping me out with this maiden voyage. And yeah, thank you so much. I love every one of you. Thank you. Bye.